Hi, everyone. This is 4 weeks to fat loss. I know there's a bit of a delay. So what I want to do and make sure before we get started, this is always my go-to, I want to make sure you can see me and hear me. So if you can, please just write in the chat box that you can see me and hear me. Okay, good. Can you hear me too? I know you can see me. Can you hear me? Ah, I love it. Okay. I wish there wasn't a delay, but this is the best that we've got here. So, all right, you guys, I'm really excited to be here with you tonight. We are on week 3. Can you believe this? Week 3 of 4 weeks to fat loss. And I love this. I am getting emails from you guys, and I've already lost weight. I'm down 5 pounds. I haven't done anything different but take on your mindset shifts, and I've lost 7 pounds. I mean, I'm thrilled. And I'm not surprised, actually, by any means, when my clients actually follow what I teach them. This is what happens. And it happens with so much ease. And it truly is effortless. And that's what you should experience all the time. So if you started this program from the beginning, yeah, week 3, I always tell my clients, 4 weeks for you to see a difference, 8 weeks for other people to start to notice, 12 weeks for the rest of the world. And you have to stay consistent and committed, right? And then it's, what do we do past the 12 weeks? And how do we keep going? And I hold their hand through the self-sabotage, through life, which happens, right? So I'm really, really thrilled that you guys are enjoying the program, that you've been having a great time. Now, for those of you that are just with me now, that is okay. You can still reap the benefits. So just get committed now. This is what I see so often are, we'll set ourselves up and go, oh, well, I just came into week 3 and I already missed out. And because of this, I can't do it. Yes, you can, right? The only limitations that exist are the ones that we create. The only limitations that exist are the ones that we create. So stop creating them and you won't have any. Right? Don't we wish it was that simple? Unfortunately, it's not. All right. So I absolutely love having all of you. I love seeing the chat box. You ladies go crazy. Introduce yourselves to one another. These are your sisters. I said in week 1 to buddy up. So a few things that I want to tell you. I am Melissa Kathryn. I am your host of 4 Weeks to Fat Loss. We are on week 3. Tonight we are talking about conquering your cravings and ending self-sabotage. There is so much for us to go over. That I actually am moving superfoods and some Q&A to next week. So you'll get a detailed email about what we'll be covering next week, as you always do in your weekly roundup with the links. On tonight's call, you're also going to get a gift from me, and you're going to get unbelievable handouts that literally will change the way that you view yourself, your relationship with food, and will really help you to conquer your cravings. And that is when you use them. All of these things are tools, you guys. You have endless tools from me. And what I love hearing is that, you guys are using the journal tracker. You're using the fitness tracker. Tyra, get in there, girl. Get yourself a buddy. Use those things. Don't just use them for 4 weeks. Keep using them. That is the way for you to understand what you're doing, how you're eating, and how you're getting in your own way. Right? So I've had many of you emailing me about, or commenting even on my Facebook page, Melissa, I'm eating, I snack off of my kids' plates. Do you think that's a problem? What I want to say to you guys, if you have to ask me a question, generally, you know that it's a problem, right? Like, you know that it's getting in the way of your success. So that's clue number 1. If there's something that you're feeling inside your body and you have an inclination to think that it's getting in your way of your success, 90% of the time it is, right? So that's you learning to trust yourself, which is what I teach. How to reconnect, how to trust yourself. As I've always said, the minute that you say yes to a diet, you give your voice away. The minute that you say yes to a diet, you lose connection with yourself. That is why the average woman spends 31 years of her life dieting. So you have these tools. Ina, I love it. Girls, get in there. Oh, thank you. This is my natural hair. It's actually more calmed down than it was yesterday. This is kind of like day 2. Day 3, it gets a little dreadlocky. All right, so bringing it back. I'm gonna ignore the chat box for a minute. Okay, to stay on track so I can get you guys out of here, right? So, but I do love compliments and I will receive them, so thank you. I teach women about bragging and celebrating themselves, so I'm gonna take that on. All right, so getting back to this. As your host, here's the thing. Week 1, what we did was, for those of you that are new or that just came in week 2, just so you guys know, what we did was foods for fat loss. We really went through how to eat, what to eat. We went through the structure of the program and how to best utilize it. I gave you tips on daily practices and things that you should be doing to help you make lifestyle changes to stay accountable to yourself to get the results that you want. I am not about quick fat loss. I am about results and I am about taking action. But when it comes to quick results, I want you to have lasting results. Lasting. So I know that for all the perfectionists out there who want the instant gratification, and I know we all want instant gratification, but the bottom line is, let's do it once and let's do it right. And let's just end dieting altogether. Okay, like let's just take it out of our repertoire. Like no more, we don't need to think in terms of dieting, which I know is not easy. So that does take more time to undo, especially if you've been doing it for most of your life. I know it took me quite some time. So why am I teaching this? Why did I put this together and why is it free? It's free because I'm truly on a mission to help women. My goal is to impact 1 million women's lives. And I've had the honor of coaching hundreds of women around the world and speaking with thousands. And I want to light the light in you to know how magnificent you are and to be free from dieting and from feelings of not being enough, not being deserving, not being worthy, and just dieting altogether, because all that does is put you in a space of lack and it keeps you from achieving your dreams and seeing how absolutely powerful, beautiful, talented, and magnificent you are. So if I can light that light in you, then you're gonna light that light in your best friends and your daughters, in your mothers and your grandmothers, and I truly believe that we can change the world. So that is why this program is free. I also know not everybody can afford coaching, and I know that I myself can't take on private clients anymore. So I wanna create avenues. Unless you want to get on my wait list, I want to create avenues to be able to help you. And I really want you to be happy. And I want you to feel great. And summer is coming, so now is the time. So who am I? What am I all about? I am a certified holistic nutritionist. I have a background as a fitness trainer and a fitness competitor, and I'm considered a fitness expert. I also am a hypnotherapist and an energy worker and have my background in the psychology of eating, specializing in emotional eating in particular, and really working to get people out of self-sabotage, which is what my book is all about. So Eat Right for Your Archetype is breaking down self-sabotage to get out of your own way, because I do believe so much of this, ladies, has nothing to do with you needing any more education, but it has to do with you understanding why aren't you able to actually stick to your goal for yourself. And where does that come from? And how can we get rid of it? All right, so that is my background. And it's not just that. And so I did have some people say to me, so I really want to be clear, sometimes I'll share my story. And honestly, I share my story so often that I'm like, this must be so boring for people if they hear it over and over again. So I try to mix it up. But I did have a few people reach out and say, did you even struggle with your weight? Like, you don't look like it, so I don't think, can you really relate to where I'm at? And the truth is, yes. Actually, I can relate to so many of you that it scares you when you speak to me because you feel like I'm reading your mind. Yes, I am empathic. However, I also can fully relate because I've been where you are. and I know where you want to be, and I know what it takes to get there. And it does not need to be as hard as you're making it, and it does not need to feel as hard as it is or need to be a struggle. In fact, when you actually learn the method that I teach, it feels so easy that you want to kick yourself for not, like, the idea that you actually spent that many years on products and programs and pills and other things. Mary, the book is called Eat Right for Your Archetype. So it's the modern woman's guide to lasting weight loss and food freedom without dieting. So yes, you can pre-order that on Amazon. And it will be out in a few weeks. Okay, focusing. So what I wanted to tell you is, honestly, my background, I didn't like me. It sounds awful. And I really, truly looked in the mirror and didn't like me at a really young age. And it's hard, like, to say, like, I didn't like me. Like, I liked me, but I blamed everything that went wrong, or every area that I felt less than had to do with my weight. And that's awful. Like, age 10, I was just sitting there and I did not like myself. And because of that, you guys, I mean, I didn't pursue acting, right? I wanted to be an actress. That was my dream. It wasn't even a dream that I shared. I had recently reunited with, like, my childhood best friend that just happens to live 4 minutes down the road. And he was like, I never knew you wanted to be an actress. And I'm like, yeah, I literally thought it was laughable to think that I would be able to be that, right? Like, that's how low my confidence was. And everything, I just remember anytime I would succeed, I found a way to self-sabotage and just stay average or below average. There was this thing with being seen and shining. There were so many elements, and truly, so you understand what happened was I took that story. So you've heard me mention about how we create a story. And so I had you guys do an exercise about, what's your story? What's your struggle? Why is weight loss your struggle? Why have you made this your struggle? What is your story around that? Because it's not true. It's not reality. It's based on falsehoods, right? And so more times than not, you, just like me, I was just a little girl, and I took on, other people and their comments, and, oh, she's big boned, and thunder thighs, and you shouldn't wear that, and you don't have the body for that, and all of these things that I would hear at age 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I took that as, there's something wrong with me. Now, let's be honest here, as a little kid, it's not like we are in the retrospective space or introspective space to be like, that is not true. What I truly believe is, right? So instead, you internalize it. And you're, in those formative years, creating your view of yourself. Mine was not positive. And that insecurity, and I say this all the time, where there's lack, you'll fill the gap with food, right? I didn't know this, but I just, I looked to food. Food was my emotional comfort. I mean, we had food around for everything. Happy, sad, you ate. And that's where we create that bond with food. And it was really hard for me to let it go. I talk about having to divorce food. And I really mean it. Like, it's like we separated, then it was kind of like abusive, then I went back for a little bit, then I would be beat down, then I found myself in the same cycle, right? Like, I really equate it to, like, an abusive relationship that's like just an unhealthy relationship that's really hard to get out of, and then to rebuild your self-esteem and confidence after that. So I dieted forever and a day. And yeah, and so Ina, I get you, girl. That's why you're in my program. So, here's the thing. From there, then I went from, like, emotional eater to I'm hiding food. I'm, like, rearranging things. I didn't even know I was an emotional eater. I was just like, I had no idea, right? Thought this was, like, normal, but I knew it wasn't normal because I knew there was something wrong with it, or else I wouldn't be hiding it, right? On that level. And so then I went the other way. Then I became the chronic dieter. You know, I'm the perfect size too. I mean, people would call me like the body, you know, I mean, and then my identity was totally tied to that. So was my self-worth. And because of that, I was an extremist with working out. I know the calories in everything. I counted points. I was like a Weight Watchers devotee, right? And Weight Watchers alone wreaked havoc on my body because it didn't teach the proper way. Anyway, long and short of it is, it wasn't until I did my fitness competition, honestly, and I sat on stage and I won best body, and I literally sabotaged myself and ate the weight back within 6 Can you guys see me? Hello? I'm not sure what just happened. Hold on 1 second. Okay, you guys, I just want to make sure I'm back on because I don't see a chat box. Hi, I'm just going to speak to my team here for a second. There's no chat box. All right, stay with me, ladies. I don't want to see you dropping off. Okay, I don't know why I don't have a chat box. I'm not sure. Thank you, Devaney. And thank you to my team. All right. I don't know, so I can't see the chat box. So I'm just going to let my team manage that. They'll post everything, and I'm going to keep going. So we've got too much to cover. All right. So the long and short of it is, you guys, that I ate the weight back, which sounds crazy, right? Like I literally looked like a fit model. I ate the weight back. What I learned and what I teach now is it doesn't matter. We can all lose weight. You guys can all lose weight. I know some of you are sitting there going, I don't know how. I literally can't. I try, but it doesn't work. The bottom line is, yes, you can. The real problem is, why can't you keep it off? Why can't you sustain the weight loss when you get there? Why have you yo-yoed? Why are you back and forth, right? And if you're following me and you're here tonight, then it's something that you want. You want to get the weight off. You don't feel your best self. You don't like what you see. You want to be able to walk into your closet and put on everything that you want to wear and feel amazing. You want more energy. You want to feel sexy. You want to look good naked, right? You want to be the best version of you. And instead of going, oh, I want to look the way I did when I was 20, no, let's look better than you did. And let's stay that way. Let's have people going, what are you doing that makes you look that way, right? You know, and I say this all the time, like literally nobody understands my real age. Men, women are always like, I don't understand. It's because I practice what I preach. I eat the way I eat. I eat to beautify everything I teach you guys. You know, I think positively. I mean, as best as I can. I'm a human, so I'm not going to sit here and act like every day I wake up and I'm like, I'm on lithium, you know, like, oh, happy day. But, you know, I do the work that I teach, and it shows up, right? Your insides show up on your outsides. And so, you know, I was sitting there and I had this body and I truly didn't believe I was deserving or worthy. So what did my mind do? My mind was sitting there going, you're not going to stay this way for long. Who are you kidding? The minute life got a little upside down, then it was like, go eat ice cream, grab the pizza. You can eat the bread, but go and do this. All the foods that like I didn't, and the thing is I didn't even want them, but there was so much lack. There was this void in me, right? So if any one of you relates to that, post it in the chat box and I'll read it somehow. I'll have my team do a screenshot because I want to know, you know, if that relates to you, I want to know, because what I want to tell you guys is if I did it, you can do it. You are just like me. I am no better than you. I am no different, right? It's just I've done it and now I can show you how. That is what that is my mission. That's why I'm here. So, okay, here's the thing. Tonight, we are going to talk about cravings and why this is so huge and why I really want this for you guys is last week when we went through fitness, right? We did fitness that fuels fat loss, right? We talked about HIIT training. I will really want you guys to know this, and then I'm going to go into our cravings. All of the workouts that I gave you guys, there is no reason why you can't up the intensity or use those workouts, honestly, for like the next 6 months or more. Every workout that I ever create for my clients and in my programs, you can up the intensity and they can meet you where you're at. Meaning you can always add weight or you can take weight away or just use your body weight. You can always go faster or go slower. You can always add repetitions, right? You can always decrease rest time. You can always add another circuit. If you are having questions about how to do certain moves, I really want you to just do what I said, just Google it. It takes 2 seconds. It literally would take you less than 10 minutes to put together visuals for those, right? So this is just put that effort in, take the 10 minutes. If it's something where you're sitting there, just be like, okay, I'm just gonna put these in if you don't know what those exercises were. But they're basic and they work. That is what I'm about. Simple, that makes sense. Okay. I don't know. Okay. All right, great. Thank you, Joni. Okay, she was sending me some things from the chat box. I'm going to keep my focus here because my ADD, I'll be like, let's talk about life. All right, so getting back to this, fitness. Few other things that I want to make sure that you're doing and that I really want to emphasize, especially for those that were not on the call last week. I did not sit there and say, work out 6 times a week and do this and you have to do this much time. No, I meet you where you're at, meaning it is completely unrealistic and will set you up for failure if you are not working out and then you tell yourself that you're going to do 6 times a week, 45 minutes to an hour. That is ludicrous. You will do it for 1 week. You will set yourself up for failure. You won't do it again. And then you will try to compare yourself to that 1 week that you were able to do it. How about we set you up for success? Meaning if you're not working out at all, start with 2 days. If you're doing 2 days, add in a third or a fourth, right? And do that for 2 weeks and then add in more. If you're already doing 5 days a week, add another day or add more time or add intensity, right? This is about you actually pushing yourself to prove mentally, right? This is repatterning the subconscious that you can do it, that you can change, that you can shift, that you have the ability for more, that you can go further, faster. You want to be better than you were the day before. You are your own competition, nobody else. How can you be better than you were the day before, right? Put those smiley faces on the calendar, count them up. Make yourself proud, right? When you're working out, have, like you guys, another thing that I got a few emails this week about abs. Your abs are truly made in the kitchen. It all comes down to nutrition. When you are working out, you keep those abs contracted. They should not be hanging low, right? It should be that somebody can hit you at any time and your stomach is tight, right? When you do that, you decrease having air bubbles, you create tension and tightness, you are contracting your abs, you are building flat abs, right? Working your entire abdominal wall. That is what's needed. All right. You guys have simple, ladies, you have many simple actionable tips that I've given you. Make sure you are implementing them. Have your water bottles, you know me, right? We're on 4 right now. I get a little crazy with it. Aim for 3. If you're at 1, aim for 2, right? Again, meet yourself where you're at, make yourself a winner. This is about raising your confidence, raising your self-esteem. Small steps, honestly, create huge results. It's the big leaps where we end up going back 2 steps even further, right? Consistency and commitment are king, okay? So I wanna make sure, I'm gonna open up. All right, so I really wanted to tell you that when we're going through everything that you're doing, I want you to be creating, and I say this to my clients all the time, you're creating a roadmap of your own personal success. So it's really, really important that you write down what works for you. If it works for you to write down what you eat, then do it. If that triggers you, then do not, right? I found that some people will say, Melissa, sending you MyFitnessPal really helps me. And others are like, oh my God, I put my calories in and then I found myself just wanting to eat just to make sure I had enough calories. And then I was overeating and it puts them in a tizzy. Gotta find what works for you. You are creating your own personal roadmap. What Ina needs is not what Letty needs, right? You guys need different things. You have different bodies, different lifestyles, right? That is why I'm always working with any one of my clients in the capacity of understanding that they are different than the next person. There's not one way, right? You all have different goals, different desires, different body types, different things that are gonna work for you. A few things that I did wanna tell you, when we are going back to, here it is, okay. So Joni, can you post the handouts? Wait, hold on, let me, just gonna go here. If you could post I'll tell you the first one. Give me 1 second. Right, why are there, should not have opened up my inbox. I don't know, there's an explosion in there. Okay, we're gonna go to the Conquer Your Cravings, Strong Mind, Strong Body, please. So Joni, if you could post that, that would be awesome. Joni's like my little angel in the background. She does these things to help me. Okay, so you guys, strong mind, strong body. So once you see that, I want you to open this up. What we're talking about tonight are cravings. Oftentimes, I know you're sitting there thinking, I'm craving ice cream, I'm craving brownies, I'm craving salt, I'm craving sweets, right? I really want you to get that cravings come from a multitude of reasons. Many emotional, right? Also too, it can be based off of what we just ate. So you will notice that another reason why I love water, I'm gonna take a sip while I'm talking about this, is because it cleanses your palate. It neutralizes your palate, right? This is really important because if you, depending on what you just ate, you will end up having, thank you, Joni. Okay, you will end up having, if you have something, say for instance, you go and get Chinese food. Chinese food's generally very salty. At the end, they give you an orange. Why do they give you an orange? It's to, again, neutralize your palate, right? And oftentimes it's also because we want something sweet. And so recognize things like that. If you are sitting there and you just ate a ton of salty stuff, you're going to want sweets. If you just ate a bunch of sweet stuff, you're gonna want something salty. Why do you think sweet and salty always go together so well? And people are like, I love the salty, I love the sweet. That's why you're hitting both ends of the spectrum. So what we want to talk about tonight is strong mind, strong body. When we're determined to change, we find ways to get around our roadblocks. This is the same not only in life, but with food, exercise, and maintaining a healthy lifestyle. So cravings can be viewed as roadblocks often. I don't like to think of them as roadblocks. See, I always tell people, you've got your, right? Like people will look at their failures. And they say, these are my strengths and these are my weaknesses. I always say, know your strengths and know your weaknesses. By knowing your weaknesses, right? Then they can become strengths because you know how to get around them. You know how to move through them. You know how to open up that door and get to the other side, right? That's beautiful. It's not, oh, that's my weak spot, so I just ignore it. No, it's not what we want to do. We want to go, all right, so maybe I'm not as strong with writing, but I am kick-ass at math. Okay, so if I'm not as strong at writing, then I know that I can delegate writing, or I'm going to work on improving my writing skills. I'm just using an example here. So I want you guys to think your cravings are not roadblocks. So if you're sitting there going, but I always want, like I have a client, she loves her tortilla chips. Loves her tortilla chips, right? And now we've actually gotten her to a place where she's like, I don't even want the tortilla chips. Like they have no hold over me. Food, it just become food for her, right? It has no power, right? But we had to identify why. Why did she want those so much? What did they mean for her? It was more than just the corn chips. It was an escape. It was a break from life. It was a time where she would just sit with her kids and she'd be able to literally just munch away and get a break from all that she had to do with her life because she does so much. She's like literally Wonder Woman. She's got like 4 kids. She's like homeschooling them. She's like, I mean, her life, she's making meals. They're always entertaining. She's the insane wife and mother. And I'm like amazed by this woman, right? I heart her to no end. But so it's not a roadblock. It was actually an indication of where she was depleted in her life, where we needed to create boundaries, right? Where we needed to create more pleasure, where we needed to have people in her family help her more so that she wasn't a one-man show, right? So really get that your cravings aren't roadblocks, right? They're actually keys to where we can improve, right? They're little indicators, right? I like to see them as like little, like they're like flashing white lights. It's like, hey, pay attention over here. If you just listen to me, then I can help you. And then you won't have to work so hard to lose weight, right? Okay. I get very excited and passionate about this. This is like one of my favorite topics is cravings. Okay, so it's really important to understand them and to know where they came from, right? So it's really helpful if you know your trigger foods, which we talked about trigger foods, right? I had you do that exercise. We talked about what are your trigger foods and how to deal with them so they don't negate your hard work or derail you from your goals. So more times than not, our emotions are the driving force of our cravings. So this is the other one. So sometimes it's what we just ate, and other times it's our emotions, right? Our life circumstances. So cravings primarily stem from stress, all emotions, and they're not just bad emotions, you guys. Like, and I don't even want to say bad because I think all emotions are good emotions. Feeling is about being human. Feeling is an expression of oneself. And oftentimes we push away feelings because they feel scary and we don't like feeling out of control or being brought back to a memory. And I really want you guys to get in touch with your feelings because that is the key to lasting weight loss and to your own personal happiness. Even if it means you cry one day endlessly, you know, or if whatever, or if you're just like on a happy pill, right? Like the way I am right now talking to you because I love this and I love you. So stress, all emotions, lack of sleep, routine behavior. These are all things that can cause cravings. So there's 2 things that, you know, I'm very big on studying the women that I speak to. And I'm a very, this is like my background comes in here with really understanding behaviors. I'm fascinated by our behaviors. So there's 2 types of cravings. There's heart cravings and head cravings. And you can learn to recognize cravings by these associations. So head cravings can be characterized by these, right? So I really want you guys to understand here. So head cravings, you know exactly what food you want. This is a head craving. So this is how you'll know what you're experiencing. A specific craving comes on quickly. You want chewy or crunchy foods, such as chips, nuts, cookies. You want party foods, your good time foods, right? Generally, the underlying emotions for head cravings are pressure emotions, such as anger, frustration, stress, overwhelm, resentment, right? Intense or instant feelings, feeling present. You want to make it, right? Like you want to make it go away. You just don't like feeling what you're feeling, right? Which is what I talked about. So you stuff it down. How can I stuff it down? I don't want to feel this, right? I get like a lot of clients that come to me that, especially the entrepreneurs, they have a project that they have to do, or just say you have a project at work and you want to procrastinate. So instead you want to munch on something. It gives you that release. It's like, oh, okay, I can focus here. Emotions are fairly clear and easy to identify. So food pushes feelings away, so you won't have to deal, right? So what are some possible underlying issues for head cravings? So you resent that you can't be honest. So this is when you're not using your voice, okay? You don't use your voice. You want to rebel against dieting rules, or just rebel in general against authority, things that are going on for you. Maybe you feel trapped in your marriage, trapped in your relationship. Maybe your boss is just, you don't like your boss, you don't like the structure of your work. Eating helps to avoid doing things, right? Again, that procrastination can come in, right? Head cravings are generally stress, anxiety, overwhelm, right? Eating is your only form of fun, right? I can totally relate to so many of these. So that was, you know, I used to experience that all the time, and I didn't really understand that that's what was going on. So if you have head cravings, and you're gonna get a thing from me here that can totally help you, that I created. And it'll be available too, for you to actually get the tangible one for purchase, but not for like a month. So, so you will have it here. Okay, so if you have head cravings, ask yourself, what do I want to chew on in life, right? So instead of sitting there, ask yourself, what is it that I want to chew on in life? Will eating change this? What can I do instead? Right? Is food really going to get me there? Is food going to finish this project for me? Is food going to help me to use my voice? Is food going to shift me from feeling of angst, right? No, it's actually going to add to it, right? So now let's talk about heart cravings. So I hope you didn't skip ahead. So really stay with me here. You guys, heart cravings are characterized by these. You have no specific food in mind. So this is, you're standing in front of the refrigerator and you just stand there and you're like, I know I'm hungry, but I don't know what I'm hungry for. You're not hungry. When we're really hungry, we know exactly what we're hungry for. And if we don't know exactly, we'll still eat anything. And we're not looking at chips and salsa, and we're not looking at chocolate or cookies or ice cream or anything else. We want real food because we're really hungry, right? You want to eat, but you don't know what. You want soft textured foods. So generally, you know, I was saying with the head craving, it's crunchy. You know, you want popcorn, you want nuts, you want granola, cereal, you know, chips, pretzels, nuts. You're like a nut fanatic. Before you know it, even if it's healthy, you're like, I ate 2 cups of almonds. And it's like, okay, you just ate enough fat for the next 3 days, right? So that will wreck your diet. So you really want to pay attention to things like that. With heart cravings, instead you want soft textured foods like ice creams, yogurts, cheeses, savory, right? Pastas, breads, fettuccine alfredo, you know, things of that nature. Like you're wanting those. Why? Because they're nurturing, they're comforting, they're memory foods. So the underlying emotions for a heart craving are empty emotions: sad, lonely, depressed, bored, restless, needy. It's a lack of fulfillment, right? Underlying emotions for a head craving is really a lack of control. You don't feel in control. So for head craving, I say to my clients, to my groups, I say, where aren't you in control in your life? Where do you feel out of control? Is it with yourself? Is it your weight? Is it money? Is it your relationships? Do you feel that you don't have control in your romantic relationship? You don't know where it's headed? Your marriage, right? Maybe you don't know if you can have kids. Maybe your kids are making you feel out of control, right? Your career. like you're in a job that just does not feel good and you just don't know a way out. Heart cravings. You guys can relate to any of those. Please put them in the chat box, right? Really think about this for yourself. Go inward and really take that time to identify, wow, what cravings do I have? When does this show up for me? What's going on in my life? What do I want to chew on instead? What am I not paying attention to? I know this might be overwhelming, and I know you might be sitting there going, okay, I don't really want to think about these things. I really just wanted help to lose weight. This will help you, because this is actually the reason why you're struggling to get the weight off, right? This is why you turn to food instead of taking action. And it's probably because you don't even know what action to take, because you haven't asked yourself these questions, or because the actions, they're scary. It's putting you in a place that does not feel comfortable. It's unknown. You know, I often say there's comfort in the discomfort, as crazy as that sounds. And when there's comfort in the discomfort, it's actually more comfortable to stay uncomfortable than it is to go to a place that's unknown, where you have fear of failure and being vulnerable. Two of the scariest emotions and things to feel within the body that we often hide from, which is why we will settle for somebody that we don't really want. You know, that wasn't like the guy. That's why we will take a job instead of waiting for the one that we really want, or going after starting our own business. That's why we will not speak our truth, because of fear, and we are afraid of being judged, right? So these heart cravings, you know, I say it's a lack of fulfillment. And this is a tricky one, right? Because this lack of fulfillment can creep up, right? The head craving's a bit more, okay, yeah, stress, anxiety, overwhelm. The heart craving can be a sneaky one, you know, and it's like, wait, but I feel like I'm doing so much, where am I not? And so this is really missing love and attention and meaning, feeling absent. You want to feel good. Emotions are vague, hard to identify. Food buries the feelings. You know, this lack of fulfillment in life, in career, in love. You know, maybe you're not where you thought you'd be. That's scary. That's a hard thing. Maybe you want to change it all, and you're just like, it's just too much. Possible underlying issues with heart cravings. You're disappointed with things in life. You know, you feel like nothing, or you have low to no self-esteem. Life didn't turn out like you planned. Eating helps you avoid thinking. You want to please people. You hope they like you. You want to feel accepted. If you have a heart craving, ask yourself, what's empty? What am I missing? Will eating change this? And what can I do instead? Right? So an example of this is, I had a client, and this is one of my favorite examples because people can really relate to it. And because it's so common. I had a client, and we'll call her Jessica, and Jessica, you know, she just said, Melissa, I just want to get these like last 10 pounds off. Like it's driving me nuts. I know I feel so much better. And she was making such great headway. She's like, it's happening, blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, I still can't. We went through this cravings process. She said, I'm Italian, we talk with our hands. Okay. She said, I can't, every day at 4 o'clock, I need something chocolate. And I need like a chocolate cake, like a pastry, a brownie, something that's like a cake, like, you know, chocolate something. And even though I'm really aware of why I'm doing this and that I shouldn't be doing this and that I just don't like my job and I'm procrastinating, it's like I still find myself, it's like my body's on autopilot, right? Have you guys experienced that? Like where you literally, you're on autopilot. Like you're like, how did I just eat all that? Like I was so good all day. And then I came home and it's like you ate house and home. Like you're scouring the cupboards, right? Like finding, like baking chocolate chips because that's all that you have because you got rid of all your bad foods, or like a jar of peanut butter and you became like best friends, right? And you're just like, what happened? Like, and then all of a sudden it's like you come back and you're sitting there and you're like, I don't understand. I remember so many times like that. And so if you guys can, if anybody relates to that, please put it in the chat box. So she would say this. And so we went through and I said, Jessica, listen, we've got to go back. Why chocolate cake? Let's really identify. Well, when we went back to it, she loved her chocolate cake because her and her mom used to make chocolate cake. And it reminded me of her mom. And she was so homesick. She had moved to New York City because with her fiance. And she lives in California, or had lived in California, really close with her family. And now she had this new job that she didn't like. She didn't have the same friends. And her husband worked, or fiance worked all the time. And so we had to have her do FaceTimes with her family more and Skype. And we booked a trip so that she would go home. And she made it so that she needed to be home every like 2 months and go home for a week, you know, or like a weekend, what have you. In doing so, the chocolate cake went away. And then chocolate cake was a fond memory when she would have chocolate cake, but she didn't need to have the chocolate cake, right? She didn't need the chocolate cake. It had no power over her. So, right, am I really hungry right now? Is food going to solve the problem? Will eating this change what's going on for me? What can I do instead? Okay, so it's important to know and be able to identify your trigger foods and situations, just like the example that I gave, right? So in continuing this, I don't know why there's a double up. Okay, sorry, there's 2 of those there. So going back, so what we're gonna do is, I want you to open up, Joni, if you could please do, hold on 1 second, I will tell you in a minute. Okay, so Joni, if you could please put up the Conquer Your Cravings link. Okay. So you guys, cravings come on at varying times. And why this is really, really important for you and why I want you to do this exercise, and I want you to do it here because I know what happens on these things. I will say to do this on your own, but you won't do it on your own. And so if you're not listening fully right now and you're on Facebook or like you're doing 50 other things, please, yes, I know the time, thank you. I want you to take the time to do this. And I want you to recognize that you're worth the time and the energy, and that if you want to lose weight, I'm giving you a way to do this, but you've got to participate. This is me coming down with a little tough love, a little hammer. All right, so what I want you to do is I want you to connect with memories and experiences from years past. So in this exercise, I want you to think of your trigger food, and that the food that you can't have around you, right? Because you know you'll eat it all. You know that fear where it's like, I don't want to start eating this because I fear I won't stop, right? This is what happens with people when they detox and they juice all the time. Then they start to feel like, oh, okay. I had a friend and colleague that did this, and then she was like committed to juicing for like months and months. And I just said, you know, Stephanie, what are you going to do when you have to go back to real food? You know, like you don't trust yourself. And she didn't. So if any of you have a fear that once you start eating, you won't stop, then this exercise is something that you need, and you need me as well. So, and what I mean by you need me as well, I'll explain. So think of your trigger food. So the food that you can't have around, right? Write it down. You can have up to 3 trigger foods. So I know mine were like, I loved Breyer's mint chocolate chip ice cream, loved it. Gonna get cozy here, loved it. Like the white one, I insist that the white tastes different than the green. It's like my favorite. And Breyer's, yes, I know. People always were like, get fancy with Haagen-Dazs, and you know what, I'll take any mint chocolate chip, but that was one that I like couldn't have around. Now it can sit in my freezer forever and a day. It's such an amazing feeling. Nut butters, that was another one. I would like want to eat the entire jar. And then what would my third be? Honestly, anything mint and anything chocolate. I have a sweet tooth. Carrot cake. I love me some carrot cake. Okay, so write down your trigger foods. All right, think back to when you first had it. So for me, I liked all these sweets, and I also liked comfort, right? They were comfort, they were nurturing. because I was experiencing a lack of fulfillment because I had a lack of love for myself, right? Lack of fulfillment is a lack of fulfillment with oneself too, right? So I didn't believe I was enough. I didn't believe that I was deserving. I didn't believe that I was worthy, right? I was not enough. Therefore, I wanted to fill my gaps, right? Fill the lack with food. And my foods were ones that would love me back. And those were all the sweets, because the sweets were also, you can't have those all the time, right? We get taught that at an early age. No, those aren't. So of course you want them more, right? So think back to when you first had it. So for me, you know, I have these memories, and that always, you know, those sweets and things, it was always me and happy, beautiful memories where I felt really loved. And I was able to get a love that I wasn't able to give myself. So what was that experience like for you? You know, what was going on at that time for you? Do you find that at 4 o'clock, you're always looking for food? Do you find yourself constantly going to the refrigerator the minute you get home from work? Are you looking forward to food more than fun? Do you eat in isolation? Would you rather be home eating than be out with people? You know, what is it? When you go home, do you get triggered? Think of these things. Is life just feel too heavy? What's going on? So what was that experience like for you back in the day? So mine was really beautiful. What was going on at the time? You know, it was holidays and just family occasions. How did it make me feel? It made me feel loved. So what was that for you? What does that food represent to me now? Right? So what does that represent? For me now, it doesn't, you know, it's food. But then what it represented was a connection to love, family, feeling supported, comforted, things that I wasn't feeling at those times when I would, you know, binge and overeat and emotional eat. So ask yourself, what does that food represent? So is your food pizza? You know, is your food health foods? You know, when I got really healthy, then I binged on health foods. You know, too much food is too much food. I don't care if it's vegan, gluten-free. If it's a brownie, it's a brownie. If it's chips, ladies. It doesn't mean they're calorie-free. I don't care what the ingredients are, right? Organic it's still food. It still has calories. So when and how often do you have this food? So notice, like, is ice cream your thing that you can't have around? Do you never let yourself? That when you do, you go overboard and you eat a gallon, right? Like, pay attention. So once you identify your trigger food, it's important to understand how you've created an emotional connection and behavioral response to them. So in order to cure a craving, these need to be identified and understood. So if you have a sweet tooth or a salty craving, more times than not, to cut the craving, you need to eliminate the element from your body to help cleanse your palate and get your body back to its natural rhythms. So this is easier said than done. And what I'm saying is, I'm not saying like, okay, you can never have this food or fully take it out. But what I can say is this: if you're struggling and you're binging, and binging, you guys, just so you know, ladies, if you're sitting there going, I'm not, if you eat 3 of something, that's considered binge eating, just like binge drinking is 3 consecutive drinks. So if you need 3 cookies and can't just have 1 and walk away and not think about it again, right? Then that is essentially considered binging. What I say is, until we strengthen the muscle within you, it's just like an alcoholic. I'm not going to put a bottle of vodka in front of an alcoholic and then leave the room and say, I hope you don't drink this. Right? So why make things more painful? We have to get to the root first so that we can heal from the inside out. So then you can have those foods around and then they have no hold over you, right? And no, that does not happen overnight. I'm sorry, I really wish it did. But it does happen. So by removing these foods and replacing them with healthier options, right? Or all together, and I'm going to share with you some things that will help you with these cravings, right? That will help you. And what this will do is it will help to cleanse your palate. The less you have sugar, the less you have salt, the less you crave it, right? And the more you bring your body back to its natural rhythms. So first we need to reduce the craving by reducing the amount you consume each week. By slowly lowering this, your body will adjust and you won't feel deprived. At the same time, it's important to find healthy swaps and alternatives that will still ease your cravings and not leave you subject to binge down the road, right? Which is what often happens. So, for example, if you have a sweet tooth, I would add more fruit or root vegetables to your diet, such as sweet potatoes, to help offset your cravings while taking out candy and other processed sugary foods, right? Take out the fruit juices, take out the coffee drinks, take out with the whipped cream and the caramel and the flavors. You guys, so many of the coffees are laden with sugar, right? That's really important. And so what I want to show you, I'm going to close out of that and I'm going to come back here. So what I want to show you are also a few things that will help you with your cravings. So, and these are things that I just want you to know. Mint tea, cinnamon tea, green tea, all of these are proven to curb cravings, okay? So I love this one, right? A burst of warming organic cinnamon and ginger, right? So this one's really good. This is really good. I love it. And you guys can even, I wanna make sure there's no shine. There's a shine. It doesn't matter. Cinnamon tea, okay? And what I want you to know too is you can also sprinkle cinnamon on top of almond milk, right? Or hemp milk or flax milk or milk in general, whatever you're drinking, soy. There's so many, I mean, there's like every type of dairy substitute these days. Green teas, I love Tulsa. Or no, this isn't Tulsa. This is okay though. This is a great green mint too. And then mint, right? So those also totally help you. This is the Tulsi, the green, here's my mint, and there's my cinnamon. I'm like a tea connoisseur. My cupboards, I have so many teas. I was going to try to bring them all over here, but it was insane. So I love teas, and I love their healing properties, and I love what they can do. So those will totally help you heal. You guys stay with me just 10 more minutes, all right? 10 more minutes, I promise it's worth it. So what I also wanted to show you, and this also goes off of fitness. There's two other things that are going to help you, or actually 3 other things that are going to help you with your cravings. Chromium picolinate. Having 5 milligrams or 500 milligrams, I'm sorry, 1 tab per day. This is an all-natural supplement. It really curbs cravings when taken consistently. It will help you. Is it going to be something that you're going to notice within the first week? No. But when you do it consecutively and take it for at least 30 days, you will notice that you will have reduced sugar cravings, right? And just cravings in general. Chromium picolinate, okay? What I also wanted to tell you is this. I have notes on everything. So also another thing that I wanted to tell you is if you are struggling with cravings, drinking room temperature water will help. So cold water helps to speed your metabolism 30% more than drinking tepid water. However, it also can increase hunger depending on where you're at. Some people find it very quenching. Others, once it chills the body, you'll recognize that when you're cold, you want food to warm you up, or you want to be drinking tea or something. So the theory is that when you're drinking cold water, you want to eat. It's not necessarily true for everybody, but it is a theory. But it is proven that it will help. It speeds your metabolism 30% more by drinking cold water. However, if you want to stave off cravings, I'm literally a wealth of knowledge. If you want to, chromium, oh, okay, I will spell that out in 1 second. But if you want to stave off cravings, drinking a glass of room temperature water will help to stabilize your body and your blood sugar. I know it sounds super simple, but it's super simple. That's how easy it is. So what has really been shown is to help to suppress the appetite. So another thing that I wanted to tell you here, branched chain amino acids. I mentioned these last week. This is one that I love because I'm super clean. Like I'm really, really clean. And this is a great one. Why? Why is that light so blinding? Okay. It's blinding. That light's blinding. I'm going to tell you what it is, and then I'm hoping that you can find it. BCAA powder is branched chain amino acids. Okay. These are really, really incredible for your body. This one is by True Athlete. I got it at Vitamin Shoppe. True Athlete. This has absolutely no sugars or there's nothing in it. Many of them you'll find have artificial sweeteners because BCAAs are actually very bitter. I just don't like artificial in my body, so I don't have them. However, this is really great. Why are these great? So I have this here because I wanted to tell you in full detail. So this really helps you pre and post your workout, right? And the aminos will help with appetite control as well as to stave off. And this is really, really important for those of you that over-exercise, my perfectionists that go crazy. You guys, what this really helps you do is it helps your body to not go into the catabolic state, which is when you're eating away at your own muscle because you're not eating enough calories. Many women are not eating enough calories and you're not eating enough protein, which leaves your body to feed off of muscle. And it also makes it so that you store body fat. So that is really difficult, and that is what I don't want you to do. What I want you to recognize is everything that I'm telling you to do. These are, these are things that are good to know, and they will help you. So other things that are going to help you to stave off cravings are lemon in your water, using grapefruit essential oil, put some drops in your water, and also putting peppermint oil in your water. Get the essential oils that are alcohol free. Okay. So, Joni, if you can post, and I'm hurrying up, I know. Stay with me here, ladies. Stay with me. Yeah, see, this is why I didn't act. Did you just hear my voice? Okay. Although I think I'd be really good. I do take acting classes. All right, let me keep going here. I'm totally going to talk to you and talk your ear off in a scary way. All right. So, Joni, if you can post the Conquer Your Cravings tracker. So this is like one of my little gifts for you guys, and I sometimes stun myself with my brilliance. I created this. This is a refrigerator magnet, and I send these to all of my clients with a little marker. So you guys, I want you to print this out and laminate it, or just print it out and just put it up, okay? And if you want to order one of these, I'll send you. I'll send an email, and if you guys want to order one of these, I will make them available. They're not going to be expensive. It's like $4.99 or $9.99. One of those. I have to look at the pricing. I wasn't really planning on trying to sell this to you, which is why I don't have those numbers. So here's the thing. But if it is something that you want, post it in the chat box, and I will make sure that we have a link for you for next week's call. Okay, so conquer your cravings. What are you really hungry for, ladies? This is for connection. This is for you to really get in touch with yourself. Why is it that you can't get the weight off? Because there is a disconnection with you. You don't trust yourself. You're not trusting your choices, and you're sabotaging yourself. And the sabotage comes down to not truly believing that you're fully deserving and worthy of what it is that you desire. It's looking for something outside of yourself. I need you to get back to you, to trust your voice, to reconnect and be your best friend and say, what is it I'm hungry for? What am I craving? What's going on in my life? And damn it, what are the dreams that I want? What are the things that I want? And I have to believe so deep in my body that I am so, so deserving of this. Because why wouldn't I be? Why her and not me? That is how I want you to think. So conquer your cravings. What are you really hungry for? I broke this down. I think it's so cute. Are you craving sweet, creamy, smooth? So, right? Then you can see so you can identify right away, what are you going for, right? And then you have a heart craving or head craving. And instead of eating, so I want to give you guys action steps. You know, I'm all about action. You need to have action steps. So instead of eating, right, you ask yourself those 4 questions. Am I really hungry? Is food going to solve the problem? Right? I'm sorry. Am I really hungry? What is it that I'm hungry for? Is food going to solve the problem? What can I do instead? Well, instead of eating, if you're feeling a lack of fulfillment, what I've found that really helps to get you out of giving into the craving and actually moving forward and experiencing releasing weight with ease is doing self-care. Find community, right? Reach out to a friend, reach out to your family, make a girls' night, you know, book a massage, get rest, add pleasure. Ladies, you are so devoid of pleasure and joy and fun. Food has become your source of fun. I can't tell you how many women I talk to where I'm like, okay, so when was the last time you really laughed and had a good time? And it's like, oh, I don't know. Well, when was the last time that you like just let loose? Oh God, it's been such a long time. When was the last time you just did for you? What is it you really want? Who are you? You've got to date yourself here, right? Something that I teach all the time. So, you know, that's like all of these things I'm talking about. This is what I do with my clients. This is what I do in our private coaching. This is what I do in Weight Loss for Life program, right? And so head cravings, when you're feeling a lack of control, instead of eating, move your body, right? When we feel a lack of control, we need to take action, right? Instead of eating, move your body, make a decision, change your workout routine, right? Every time you act on doing one of these things, you put a check in that box, right? That's why I said to laminate it so that you can just keep wiping it off. In fact, you should laminate the food tracker and the fitness tracker and just make your own little 4-week to fat loss binder and have those things on you, and you can just keep wiping them off and filling them in. Check in there. And then the thing is, when you don't get into your craving, do something great for yourself. Put aside $10 every time you don't give into your craving, then you have $80. Go buy yourself an incredible workout outfit or a new dress or something that makes you feel fabulous. And if you're sitting there going, Melissa, I don't want to buy anything because I'm not happy with my weight right now, then that is the #1 thing you need to shift. Because until you accept where you are, you cannot release the weight to get to where you want to be. It just simply will not happen. Because all you're doing is focusing on where you want to get, and you're sitting in a space of lack of, oh, I'm not there yet. Until I get there, then I can. Not until I get there, then I can't enjoy X, Y, and Z. That can't happen. That's BS. Truly. It can happen. And it should happen. Right? But not when we're always focused on all that we aren't and where we need to get to. Right? So ladies, if you're sitting there and you are in a place, oh my God, okay, I have to close this out. If you're sitting there and you're in a place where you're going, oh my God, I have these memories and I have these trigger foods and I'm resonating with so much of what you're talking about, then yes, you have the rare opportunity. And I'm saying this rare, and I don't think I was fully like sharing this. I am offering you the opportunity to have a coaching session with me. Not a full one, because that would I would have no time. And I'm finishing final edits and all of these different things going on. But I've opened up one day, and it's on my weekend. And the reason why is this. I said to you in the very beginning of this call, I'm dedicated to your success. And I am saying this to you. If you are sitting there and you are going, I receiving all this information, I don't know what to do with it, then I'm here to help you. Receive an action plan. Let's identify your trigger foods. Let's get clear on your blocks, and let's get you out of your own way. I'm about taking action, and I am about results. And I'm not sitting here just for the fun of it. I'm sitting here because I care. But I'm telling you this, I can't do any more for you than giving you these free classes and this program. It's time that you help yourself, and there literally are 6 spots. So there are 6 spots, and you have the first opportunity for them. And those of you that want my help and want an action plan, I will give that to you. I am a full-on giver, right? But you have to show up and take it. So if this is something that you want, this is a limited time, there is no way to coach with me privately unless you want to be on my wait list. And if you want to get on my wait list and you're saying, yes, I want that, go to my website under coaching and private coaching, and there is, you can just fill in your name and we will be in touch with you the first time a spot opens. But until then, this is your best opportunity. So get on that call with me. I will help you, and I will give you everything I've got, and anybody that's spoken with me knows that. And that's why I love this. I love all of you. I am so so ecstatic that I had this opportunity to be with you tonight. I love you showing up for you. And let's kick this dieting thing to the curb and let's get you to your ideal weight. Summer's around the corner. Your time is now, and this is my gift to you. So Joni, if you can post that link, I would love that. And those of you that want that, get on it. And if there isn't a time available, if you've gone over there, I already see people signing up. If there isn't a time, wait a minute. No, that's not. That's Joni. Okay. If there isn't a time open, please email support@melissakathryn.com, and I will really do what I can. You guys have known that. I've been over backwards many a times. So I'm here for you. I just want to thank you for being here tonight and for all of your support, and know that I am doing everything that I can for you. So if you need more of anything, please feel free to always email. I read all your comments. I read all of your emails. I do my best to reply to each and every one of them myself. And so keep that up. If there's something that I've talked about and you want more of it, any of that. And so I just want to thank you for being here. You will receive an email to understand what you're going to and what we'll be talking about next week. I hope this was a great call for you. And really let me know if it spoke to you and I can do more of this. All right? So thank you so much. I'm really frustrated that I can't see a chat box because I would love to answer questions. And Joni, if you posted, I don't know if you posted the link for the call and to sign up. So I hope you did. And I'm really upset that I can't see a chat box. So, all right, ladies, I'm gonna say goodnight. All right, so for those of you on the East Coast, sleep well. Remember, when you go to sleep, this is the beginning of your morning, right? How you go to sleep is the way you start your day. Make it magical. Set your intention, and then make tomorrow just a kick-ass day. Let's go get them. Start with your workouts, lemon water. You know the drill. Carry this guy around and get on it. I hope to hear from you. Much success, much love. Next week. Oh. Hey, Joni, can you take a snapshot of a screenshot of the, I don't know if you're there. Oh, thank you. Can you take a screenshot of the chat box for me, love, just so I would really wish I could have answered these questions for people if there were any. I don't even know if there are any. I feel like I'm a blind person. So if you could do that and send that to me, that would be great. All right, I'm still here, hanging out. All right, bye guys.